Alright. Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. My name is Morgan Ozpin. And today I just ate my lunch. My god, I ordered my mouth. I ordered a Panda Express today. After a long journey of going through a bunch of stuff like sorting out my movement from one university to another. I'm sort of transferring. If you don't know, guys, I'm sort of transferring from one school to another. Because I recently moved places from one house to another, and I figured that since we're moving places, I'm already moving like one house to another. Might as well move to another school because I'm nowhere near nowhere near the old school that I once studied at. So yeah, I'm now attending a new university, and I'm going to be experiencing a different schedule. Hence why I'm sort of announcing that I might not be doing any big projects for now. Because I sort of have to adjust to the university life that I'm going to be having right now. So for now, the freaking animations and shit like that, any big blender projects like animate shorts will be on hold for now. But that's not to say that I'll stop making content or even blender content at all. It doesn't mean that at all. I'm just gonna be focusing on very small projects like the VTuber Mall project I just did. That didn't really take a long time compared to the Ben 10 to the my god, that Ben 10 animation took me three months to make, I think, or 2 months. I think it's like the second biggest project I did, apart from the other animation I did back in December of 2022, entitled Feather Snowflake and the Christmas Gift, which I plan to do a sequel of for this year. But I'll just see. I'll just see if I can make room for my schedule to make another animation. But anyways, guys, so today we're not gonna be doing any big projects or any project at all in Blender, because I've realized that already a month has passed since, actually more than a month has passed since we've last visited the Blender subreddit. And oh wait, hold on, is there a BGM? I'll probably turn on the BGM. Oh wait, there we go. So yeah, it's been a month since I've looked into the Blender subreddit. Last time we did this was back in May, I think. The last week of May of this year, and we talked about the ethics of canceling a cube in Blender. We also talked about what else did we talk about? Anyway, I remember there was an ice cream building once, and I sort of talked about that in that live stream. But since that a month has already passed, let's see what's new in Blender in the Blender subreddit. If you guys are new to this channel, I am technically just a channel dedicated to making Blender art and animation. Sorry, I had to hiccup there. Quick Panda Express is killing my neck right now. I do a lot of Blender art and animations in this channel, and I don't usually react to any content at all, apart from that one time before when as I said, I've reacted to the Blender subreddit, and now we're doing that again. With this time on the context that it's already August of 2022, 2023. A lot has changed since back then. I think 3.7 was announced. I think 3.7 or 3.6. I don't know. My current Blender version is 3.6, and I heard that there are some, I think, optimization changes to Blender, and then as well as there was this. We already have you already have this tool wherein we can easily add hair, easier than what was when before 3.6 was released, 3.7 was released. I don't really. I have to be honest, guys. I don't really. I'm not really updated on the current added features of Blender because I'm sort of satisfied with whatever tools is already available in Blender. The last ever update I ever cared about was the geometry node update, and that was I think 3. That added like 2.93, version 2.93, and ever since then I just sort of I'm just sort of cruising along the with whatever Blender gives me. Like, as a browser, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, why not? We can render faster render times. All right, okay, that's cool. So I guess by reacting to this every now and then. By the way, I'm planning to make this a monthly thing. So if you guys want this to be a sort of common thing that would happen in this channel, let me know. So anyways, let's react to some of these freaking posts. I sort this by hot, or should I sort this by top of this month? Wait, let me just sort this by top of this month. Top of, not today. Oh my god, no, we can't show that. We can't show that in freaking what's it called? In YouTube. Alright, so okay, we're starting off with a realistic render. I think this is this Eevee or is this Cycles? I'm not sure. By the way some of these models look, if I pause this, it sort of looks like it's rendered in Eevee. But who knows? Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just analyzing this wrong. But yeah, this is pretty good. It's a really good render, man. I like how when the camera moves from one doorway to another, you can kind of see that there's this sort of blurring effect in the sides here. It makes me think that I think this is rendered in Cycles. I don't think there's a sort of setting in Eevee that gives you the option to make these blurs. Oh wait, no, we do have. It's called the what's it called? It's called the focal length. The focal length. The depth of field. Yeah, the depth of field. I think. I think what he did was that he put he parented an empty object to the camera, so that a said empty would always stay in front of the camera. So if you don't know what an empty object is, guys, it's just basically like a cube, a sphere, or a point that's basically invisible to the camera. And I think what he did was that he added the empty object, parented to the camera that's displaying everything that's over here, and then he sort of messed around with the camera setting to a point that it would only focus on the empty, anything that's near the empty. Anything farther from that is sort of blurred out, like what you're seeing here. So I think it's what's happening here. Did you post any behind-the-scenes content with the comment section here? I don't know. You're right. About time so many gentrified. That's the first time I've ever heard of that name. Heard of that word, I mean. Visible articulation spots, though the outside of the train moves like it does. Okay, for magical Harry Potter-esque architecture. Wait, what? What's this guy talking about? Oh, you're talking about how it's not, how the background sort of not moves outside the window? I guess that makes sense. So it feels like the train sort of it feels like the interior of this apartment is disconnected from the outside this outside view of the train itself, because you can sort of see there are a lot of trees outside. But if you look over here, this feels like a beach. It's just a beach outside. I guess that's what it's trying to say. Although I sort of, I know I saw this video on YouTube that talked about there was this video on YouTube that talked specifically about not giving a shit when it comes to 3D rendering. Basically that video argued that basically argued that you don't really need to focus on the things that people won't notice, like the freckles of hair, or in this case the outside of an apartment building, because you're going to you may just end up putting a render into production hell, and you won't really get to post anything. So I sort of agree with that video. There are just some things that you don't want to add detail to, like the outside of this apartment building. Anyways, I feel like the artist behind this basically accomplishes what he wants to, just to make this sort of surreal environment, wherein there's just this I mean it's a railroad apartment, like there's nothing realistic about that. In fact I think it's going for a more surreal aesthetic here, which I think is really good, which is really cool. Alright, so that's the first post. I'm gonna try to input as much insight, put as much of my own insight to these posts as possible, because we don't want to just be reacting to stuff blindly. We don't want to be we don't want to be like XQC, who just sleeps on every post that his viewers send him. Okay, just say add. Dang, this is cool. I made this render, but I don't really know what I just created. This reminds me of the final few panels of Uzumaki, wherein the main boy and girl had to climb down this stairwell that goes down this big hole in the middle of this town. And essentially that the stairway spirals down and down until what they end up what they saw at the bottom was just this big pit that when they fell down they sort of saw this spiral monster that turns everyone that saw it into spirals. Does that make sense? I don't know. But yeah, this is really cool, man. There's this seems like a geometry node sort of thing. The way some of these buildings are uniformed. It reminds me of my my own building generator that I did. Like a few months ago. I think you guys know that. It's probably my most popular video right now, wherein I was able to generate a building. I got Blender, when I got Blender to generate a building for me using a bunch of nodes that I constructed on my own, and assets that I also constructed on my own. Anyways, this is my friend. It's a hole. This is my friend. It's a hole. Yes, it is a hole. Looks like the holes in Coruscant in the Clone Wars that go to lower levels. I don't know. I haven't watched Star Wars, man. This is This is new stuff for me. What else can I add here? There's a lot of filling buildings here and shit. I wonder if this building right here, the center of it. Oh shit. If I go down here, this feels like this building in the center here feels like a geometry node thing. Like I can see myself just constructing the one floor of it, and then I use geometry nodes just using array. And I don't think I don't need to use geometry nodes for this. You can just like maybe use an array modifier that's set to a z offset of 1, and it will just like duplicate anything that's below it, and I'll cap it off with with this rooftop right here. Yeah, so wow. Dang, that guy doesn't look like he's standing on that rooftop. Although when I was making some of my animations for this channel, the one thing that I always have problems with is sticking feet onto the ground. That has been like a problem for me with all of my renders for the past 3 years. 3 years, I think. Yeah, 3 years. Technically 3 years. And it's only I think it was only during the time I released that Fire Emblem animation that I figured out how to make feet stick to the ground. The way I got feet to stick to the ground was that when I was like looking at the when I was looking at the bone constraints in Blender, there was this option called floor. there was this bone constraint called floor, I think. Hold on, let me open up Blender real quick. Is it floor or was it something else? Basically, this bone constraint gives me the ability to limit how down can a bone get in a 3D scene. Hold on, let me see. Is that the right? If I open up a new Blender project here. How low a bone can get. I go here and I just opened up a fresh Blender project in this and in my other screen here. Floor, or is it floor? Track 2. Oh wait, maybe it's limit location. Yeah, I think I used a limit location. I used a limit location bone constraint, which if I, you know what, I'm gonna pull you guys to Blender real quick before we go back to reacting to a Blender subreddit. That's not it. Where is it? There it is. All right. So so let's say this bone is part of some sort of character or something, and I wanted to just I wanted to sort of stick to the ground. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Let's say I don't want this bone to exceed the I want this bone to stick to the ground, but I don't want it to also exceed the level of this plane. So what I would do is that I would I'd first go to pose mode. Go to pose mode, select the bone that I wanna, I wanna limit to the ground, and select this bone constraint called limit location. And then, which there was this other. I was pretty sure there was this other. Oh, here. Oh, there it is. Right. Let me just go back to post mode. Anyways, okay, so make sure that this stays to the ground. It sticks to the ground every time I move it to the ground. All I do is press floor. Make the target the freaking plane. That way, if I move this around, and if you look at my mouse, you can see that I'm still trying to make it go down. But no matter how much I try, it will always stick. It will always stop when it reaches the ground. And basically, that's how I make sure that these bones land on the ground perfectly. So yeah, that's what I do, guys. The only problem, I guess, with this method is that it sort of references the floor's origin. So if I made this like a cube, if I turn this into a cube and I start moving this up and down, it still sort of clips through the plane because it's sort of referencing the level of the origin instead of the level of the highest point of this mesh itself. So I guess if you wanna fix that, you replace the floor constraint with a limit location constraint, and that would just easily you just type in like a level here that makes sense. Like I don't know, 0.15, and this bone would easily stick to the ground like so. So if I keep scrolling down, it just sort of lands on the plane like so. Easy stuff. It's you may think that this tip is not really that helpful, and you'd rather just like manually adjust the bones when you make your armature. But if you're working with big projects like the Ben 10 animation I did, you would get how helpful this is. So I'm gonna switch back to the freaking Firefox browser so we can react to more Blender stuff in the subreddit. Let's go. Alright, next up, let's go back to the Firefox private browser. Do I am in private browser because I don't want to risk potentially revealing some information to you guys, like something about my account. So I am going incognito on this one. Alright, so top of this month. Okay, so we already reacted to the railroad department. Reacted to this. This is the top of this month, the third top of this month. Created using Blender 3.6. This is, wow, that's a really cool. Those are a lot of polygons, but I think what he managed, how he did this was through a add-on called IvyGen, maybe. If not, I guess I might as well explain what IvyGen is. It's this add-on in Blender. IvyGen is this add-on in Blender that automatically generates a shrubbery like this one. I used it once to create some of the vines in my Road to El Dorado 2 animation. Uh, so, but what I realized from the Ivy Gen add-on is that it's not doesn't really produce any realistic results. At least based on my experience. Maybe I'm just not using the correct settings or shaders for Ivy Gen. But Ivy Gen is I think one of the first few add-ons that I was introduced to when I was looking up Blender tutorials on YouTube. It's a very old add-on, and I think it still works to this day. I'm hopping back to Blender to see if Ivy Gen is still a thing. It's like a built-in add-on that has been here since I don't know 2.91. The version I started using Blender. Ivy Gen. Yep, it's Ivy Gen is still here. Oh my god. It's already on version 0.1.5. Wow. Has it been updated ever since? Let's see. Let me look at the Blender manual. Ivy Gen, based on the wonderful code. Just copy and paste this to here. This is Blender's official documentation on what Ivy Gen is. Here it is, Ivy Gen, based on the wonderful code by Thomas Luft and its original Ivy Gen program. Original Blender port by test screenings for the advances by PKHG and Truman Blending. So, if you're unfamiliar with add-ons, guys, these are not first party, even though they're available. They're technically available in Blender available in the Blender program once you download it. These are third-party add-ons that you can use in Blender to optimize your working environment in the program. And you can sort of see here that that you can create stuff like Ivy, basically. I never really messed around with it that much because I was only using it to make one scene in Blender, and I didn't really see the use of changing any of these options here. I think I just used the default options for when making the Ivies. And I never used it since because if you look at this, wait, are you guys seeing this? Oh yeah, you're seeing this. You're definitely seeing this. If you look at this preview sample here, this middle leaf right here, I think is the closest thing to what would happen if you load Ivy. If you try to generate Ivy with the default settings in Ivy Gen, it contains a lot of polygons, and to be frank with you guys, I don't really think this looks like Ivy at all. If you look closely at it, it's more so like it looks like more so like a barf. It looks more like barf than anything, which is why I don't really use Ivy Gen, and I don't really care about at least for now. I don't really care about studying Ivy Gen, any of Ivy Gen settings, when I have something like Blender Kit to help me. That gives me the option to use the other models of artists who gave the thumbs up to use their models as for your own projects. So I don't really use Ivy Gen. That's the main takeaway here. If you don't know what Blender Kit is, guys, it's this add-on in Blender that lets you download and import models by various artists who willingly uploaded their scenes and models into Blender, into the add-on. And basically, it just gives me the option to, it's basically like using It's basically having to download a model from a third-party website. But instead of going to the browser, you can just do all of that in Blender, and that's really cool. It really saves a lot of time. Go search up Blender Kit if you haven't, guys. I really recommend that add-on if you want to import models by various artists in a more efficient manner. So yeah. Okay, let's go to the next step here. What the fuck am I making at this point? Just damn, that's cool. Now you might think that past me would think that this is actually a hard thing to do, because if you think about it, that car is made up of various meshes that have to squash and stretch like so. But I think the more efficient way of maybe squashing and stretching this car is to sort of parent every mesh here with an empty square. And I'm really promoting the use of empties in this stream, aren't I? You parent this car to an empty square that is sort of so a square that is that's sort of walling this car from that's bounding this car, and by parenting the car to the meshes of the car to an empty, you can sort of squash and stretch it. You can sort of just squash and stretch the empty, and all of the meshes that's parented that's part of this car will squash and stretch accordingly to how you squash and stretch your empty. So that's how I think this car was so squashed and stretched. Anyways, it's a cool model. Alright, across the Spider-Verse web shaders. Dang. Alright. Sheesh! That looks cool. I think they used a Voronoi texture? I think they used a Voronoi texture as that mid-tone. I think I also have a shader like that if I go here. Hold on. If I go to... This is a shader I made on my... hold on, let me just show it to you guys. This is... I'm going to first add in sphere here. This is I'm going to show you guys a shader I did way back then. I think I made this last year when I was when I was very interested in learning about what's it called? About these toon shaders. Where is it? Here it is. It's the Musgrave toon shader. If I apply this to here, is it imported? Cool. I'm gonna show you guys. This was the shaders I used 1 year ago to make this little thing here. I shade smooth this, and I have to turn down this shadow intensity. This one. Shadow intensity, light intensity can go up, I guess. Voronoi randomness can go down. Voronoi scale can go down as well. How did this guy do it again? Let me see. Yeah, I guess this is this is my Voronoi texture right here. If I go to... If I change a bit of this shader here, I might be able to replicate this guy's shaders. So I don't know if I can do so. Window. Musgrave. Manhattan or is it Euclidean? I forgot. Smooth F1 is a distance to edge. Nope, that's not it. Smooth F1 Euclidean? Is it Euclid? No, it's not Euclidean. Minosky? No. This guy able to do that? I mean, my shaders technically is the Spider-Verse texture that you just saw, but I noticed that he had very perfect circles to it, and that's not something I can just replicate. And sphere radius, maybe. Oh, this makes sense. Okay. Go here. If I change this to this looks weird. God. Oh well, I guess I guess I can't just replicate this this Spider-Verse texture here. That's a shame. Anyway, okay, this post gets my I don't know badge because I have no idea how he was able to to make this. Although I have a general idea of how this guy made this Spider-Verse texture. Oh, a wave. Anyways, okay, that's the Spider-Verse texture. Done. I'm pretty sure this guy used Musgrave. It's gotta be Musgrave, right? Or is it some sort of noise texture that I don't know about? Love the highlights though. That's really cool. You must have used a separate RGB for those sliding. Because there's no way he would have been able to make this backlight and this front light with just one colored channel. Well, he should have used like some sort of what's it called? There's some sort of texture for that. Also, some sort of separate RGB for that. No. Anyways, next one. Black hole? No. Dang, it's been how long has it been since the picture of the black hole was published to the internet? It's a long time ago. Oh my god. Anyways, that's the Ivy Gen. That's the car. That's the Spider-Verse. Mickey Mouse. My attempt at replicating the classic look of Mickey's ears on my rig. Wow, that looks cool. Did he parent? He must have like parented his Must have been like he must have like parented the bones to. He prefer. I think what he did was he first parented the mesh the to the bone. Then he first parented the mesh to the bones of the ears. Then he hooked the bones to the. He parented the bones to the camera. Though that doesn't make sense though. Is it possible to? I'm gonna go back to this. Is it possible to do a parent? Just the location, just the location of it. Parents. Child of. Okay, location. Location. And scale. No, wait, no, I can't just. You cannot just. I go here. Alright, back to Blender, guys. I want to see if I can recreate some of these. If I can guess what this guy's trying to do. Going back to Blender. We go back here. Then I parent this to say the camera. Then I set the camera view to. And now it's moving to the. If I go here, it will then move this back and forth. If I just cancel anything that's. Alright. Oh, but then it won't. If I do this, shift, duplicate, and if I, nope, that won't do. Yep, that. Yeah. Okay, so I thought that by by just doing the by adding like a child off node, would have been able to say it would have been like able to follow my view, but I noticed that if I go back to this Mickey Mouse animation. So he wasn't like zooming in and out up until the very end when he sort of scrolled out. Yeah, see that? That was sort of weird. There must have been like some more bone constraints that that he put. Make sure that the bone is sticking to the mesh. Although now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm looking at it, it's the mesh is also moving on its own. My God, that's actually cool. Oh well, that's not a question mark for me. Is there any? Did he share his behind the scenes with this? I need that to keep it graphic tunes. You have a damp track constraint to the camera and a shrink wrap constraint to a second mesh. A shrink wrap constraint. Also children to another bone that has a damn track constraint to the camera. Okay. Shrimp wrap, a shrink wrap constraint. That's new to me. Normally, when I hear of shrink wrap, I would first think of things like what's it called? When I think of shrink wrap, I would think of maybe modeling. Never breaking. Does this work? Oh my god, it works! What the hell? Look at that bone. That bone is still following my camera. It's still following my camera, but it also does its best to stick to the plane itself. That's actually a really cool thing too. Maybe I'll apply that to maybe a future animation project. That'll do. Damn. Okay, that's a new thing I've learned in Blender. That's really cool. I'm gonna move back to. Hold on, wait. Did you guys see that? Here it is. If I added a zero graph constraint to this bone here, and you can sort of see that it's sort of sticking. It's trying its best to stick to the plane. So, and if I move this up, it's sort of like clipping in and out. That's cool. So I guess that's the more I know. That's a new thing I learned today. Gonna move this down. That's really cool. Let's move on to the next post here. I still have no idea what we'll use this for, but that's a very helpful thing I've just learned. Anyways, what's next here? Sinking city on the edge of salt flats, made in Eevee. Yeah, I would have guessed that because it's toon shaded. But wow, that's. I noticed that there's like a little bit of that. Use a little bit of the bloom effect for that horse right there. That horse, the horse and his armor is. I noticed it has a little bit of that bloom effect. There are some colors spilling out. That gives me this feeling that this is made during time Popeyes was out. It gives a little bit of this hand painted look, and I think that what he did here was that he used the compositor the compositor in Eevee to add the bloom effect on the yellow here. Is that what he did? Let me see. If I hop down here, I love the art style. The ground just really pops and it's pleasing to look at. I could stare at this for a while. Oh, he has more stuff from Instagram or ArtStation. Let's rate his Instagram for a bit here. See what's here. Ali Hoff. All right. Oh. Oh, I like the line art here. What is this? Oh, come on, really? I have to log in? Alright, I'm gonna go to ArtStation instead. Let's see what's here. Oh my god. Please, Filipino Google, please don't mess with me. Oh my god, that looks cool. I recently watched a video about plague doctors by Frederick Knudsen. He's the same guy who made the Down the Rabbit Hole series. And dang, if you have ever seen the history of plague doctors, it's really freaking frightening, man. Like they're supposed to be these doctors assigned by the medieval the monarchy. Or the heads of European countries back then, to sort of deal with the bubonic plague that was spreading around the continent at that time, and it was during a time when when we didn't know anything about germ theory, and it was during a time when we thought that that diseases came from places like, I don't know, from divine reasons, and I don't know, like, yeah, they call it the miasma theory. What's the miasma theory? Miasma theory of disease. Miasma theory of disease. Abandoned medical theory that held that diseases is cholera by a miasma. Noxious and what? Or bad air, also known as night air. Yeah. We held that epidemics were caused by a miasma emanating from rotten organic matter. Yep, this is this was the basis of medicine back before germ theory was a thing. Germ theory, by the way, is like the theory. I've studied this in college, guys. Like, germ theory is like the theory that it's a fear of disease, wherein, you know, that's already widely accepted, wherein germ theory, wherein diseases are said to come from small microorganisms like viruses, germs, and bacteria. And but we didn't have the concept of bacteria back then. So instead, doctors had to base their procedures on stuff like the miasma theory, or I think the other theory was called the divine theory. This resulted in in a lot of botched operations back in the day, and it even come to a point that instead of these doctors actually healing these people, they were actually sort of spreading the disease back then. To a point that when people hear that the plague doctor is coming, it sort of sparks fear from everyone because of the low success rate these doctors have with with these people. So we have that. We have plague doctors to thank for for the scary for the scary art design right here. Although, you know, I'm actually thinking of making a costume for myself, a VTuber costume that sort of resembles a plague doctor. They have a they may be scary, but they look really cool in my opinion. The way they freaking have this Undertaker hat with a beak-like mask. And you know, speaking of plague doctors, I have this vague memory of watching Cinderella, the remake, not the original. And there was, what was Cinderella, or was it? Oh, Beauty and the Beast. The Beauty and the Beast remake, and I remember seeing the scene wherein I think Belle's dad or something was dying. Belle's dad, or I think the Beast's dad was dying, I forgot. And suddenly there was the scene that had a plague doctor too. That had like a plague doctor, and that's what caught me off guard, because at that time I already knew what plague doctors are. And the moment I saw that in the Disney film, I was like, oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. And it's not like they included the plague doctor there to make the scene horrifying. Looking back at it, it sort of looks like the appearance of the plague doctor was natural given the time that the Beauty and the Beast story was set. But it doesn't excuse the fact that that plague doctor scared the shit out of me, and especially in a Disney film where you don't expect things like this to come out. But anyways, this is a good render from, who is this? From Kalashnikov. I'm I might bookmark his ArtStation page at some point. I don't like this. Remove bookmark. I'll just keep this guy's name in mind because I really like his toon shaders. Might give me some ideas for future Blender's projects. I call this one me right now. Shrimp. Why did you maul yourself a shrimp? Are you like a trumpet or something? My god. That's very cute. There's really nothing to add here. I just love the fact that I just love the fact that you're a shrimp. They call yourself a shrimp in this render. I wanna know. Is this guy a VTuber fan? I feel like you won't be calling yourself a shrimp unless you're a VTuber fan. Shrimp was that. You see. Oh, it's from Smiling Friends. I already watched the pilot episode available in the Adult Swim website. Never really. Okay, this guy knows who he is. Any chance you know who Guard Guru is? Oh my god. Alright. So this guy made a shrimp. See, let me see if he has any posts outside of the Blender subreddit. Blender, Fallen Order, Marvel Snap. What the heck is this? Marvel Snap? What is this? I was expecting VTubers, but I see now that you have other problems other than mine. That's a cute Magneton. I remember like the first few Bennett tutorials I've witnessed was from this guy called Default Q. And it was a tutorial about making a Magnemite in Blender. A realistic Magnemite, and was a really cool Magnemite to make because it used much more realistic textures than this guy's. There were a lot of rusts and stuff. I wish I could show you guys what it looked like, but I sort of lost. That picture of that render is already lost in my file explorer. That I don't want to sort out because I'm too lazy. And it says a lot of renders. Is this a real render, or is this a is this a what's it called? A picture of some sort. Yeah. Anyways, that's a cool shrimp model. What is this? After 2 years of hard work, my game featuring destructible cities finally fully realized. Oh, fully released. Please check it out on Steam if you're interested. Ooh. Demolish or Die. That's a 3D roguelite? That looks like a 3D roguelite. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at that. I love the pixel art style here. I don't have anything to say about Unity, about making stuff for games because I never really grew up with games. That's a fun fact about me. I only played a bunch of Flash games when I was a kid, and when I finally got into having my first game console, which is the Nintendo Switch, I was already too much of a. I was already too much too grown up to sort of enjoy some of these games because I have a lot of responsibilities now. Which is why I still make animations. Which is why I make animations in YouTube. Take that as you will. Anyways, that's a cool animation. Is this available? Let me see. Is it how big is this file? In man, does it have a link to this game? Demolish or Die. Let's see if I go to here and I type in Steam. Let me see. Welcome to Steam. See, is Demolish or Die here? Oh, Demolish or Die. Ugh. Apologies, guys. Oh, it just released last month. That's a cool city. The city reminds me of this old Flash game I played with my little brother, wherein you play as this dog riding a car around a city, and it's your job to sort of complete these races with these other dog racers. It sort of resembles this art style, this pixelated art style. I remember having so much fun with it when I was a kid. It was like one of the few games I've actually enjoyed. Again, I've never really played any real games. You know, any console games or downloadable PC games. I sort of played a bunch of Flash games and a few app games when I was growing up. Are there any how big is this? 4 gigabytes of RAM. Wow, this is dang, this is a very low. From I can tell, this thing is really optimized. This game, if it can run, if the recommended specs for your computer is an i5 processor with 4 gigabytes of RAM, 1060 graphics card. My God, this has to be a very small game. Is there any no, there's no. I don't really have any other opinion to this. It's a really cool game in my opinion. Anyways, let's hop back to the subreddit. Let's see what else we can react to. Okay, how long have I been streaming? An hour? 1 hour? Really? Okay, so real-time composite. Ooh, real-time composite glitch. That reminds me of Spider-Verse. My God, how many times have I compared a toon shader to Spider-Verse right now? Like, my God, it's I just can't escape the thought that every toon shader render that I've looked at it right now is just makes me now think back. Makes me think about Spider-Verse. It just automatically gets me back to Spider-Verse. Alright, I want to see the node setup here. Is this I gotta zoom in on this? No? Really? I can't get a zoom in on this? God. If I do it manually. Oh, it's only it's only shrinking the GIF. I can see what is that? Is that a video? Is that a video file that he used? Oh, here we go. Here's the full setup. Let me see the full setup here. X. Oh my God, guys. Well, what's your opinion on the latest change from Twitter to X? There's nothing offensive about it. I just think that's really ridiculous that Elon Musk would spend so much of the marketing money to change Twitter to X. What's this? So he has a MP4 file here, and this is his. I guess this is the original render of just the monkey. And what's this? Subtract XYZ. Oh my God, It's been a long time since I've studied anything about the compositor, because I would rather like composite my videos on a better video editor like DaVinci Resolve. But this post right here is sort of compelling me to go back into learning about compositing, because this glitch effect I don't think can be done in a program like DaVinci. So he has a separate XYZ here. And just subtract. What is this? What are all these values? Why is there a... oh wait, no, it goes here. What does you subtract? What's image minus 1 here? Then minus 50? Oh, these is oh, he uses a bunch of display stuff. I cannot figure this out. My God, I need someone to talk to him. I need someone to make a blended tutorial with this. For me to understand this. What's diamond sharpen? Is that a what is this? Is it like a custom node or something? My God. Anyways, this is a cool node setup by Celestial Maze. So he has to combine XYZ. This place. Okay, I think I'm sort of getting it. So he has like this. So I think it's working on 2 layers here. One is the displace. One is like there is the original render layer, and the other one is a displaced version of his render layers. And using a bunch of freaking, let's see if it goes scale, diamond sharpen, goes down here, and this guy has to fix his node setup. My God. I can't even see what's the midpoint here. And what I'm saying is that he must have used he must have 2 layers here, a displaced layer and the original render layer. Then he sort of used those 2 to make a sort of filter for these for one of these factor nodes here to make the glitch effect. Anyway, if you want to know more about this, go follow Celestial Maze on Twitter. Again, a really cool setup. I mean, this is pretty much the top of the month. All of these are cool. Rainy Forest. This reminds me of I've been watching a lot of Hollow Knight. Playthroughs on YouTube. I may not be playing games, but I do watch other people game in YouTube, like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye when I first discovered YouTube, and now it's just a bunch of Twitch streamers that I watch when I wanna watch other people play. It's really cute. I also love the little bit of the pitter patter here. I think he must have used a displacement modifier on a plane for these little pitter patter here. Anyways, this is a cool render. Next up, we have made a little fractal zoom using geometry nodes. Oh my god, that's a really cool loop. Okay, I can. I think I can sort of see the point. I don't think this is a sort of a purely Blender thing. I think you can just. I think what he did was just he rendered two different he rendered two different mesh. He rendered two different scenes, and he sort of just combined them onto a video editor. Then had the video editor sort of slowly transition to the next scene, which is this one. Yeah, they can sort of identify the point wherein the fractal building transitions from the first rendered scene to the next rendered scene. Yeah, it's it. I love the timing here. The timing is nonetheless impeccable. This one, really cool animation here. A robot. Ooh, made a robot inside and outside. What do you mean outside? Wait, did he really make? Did he really make two different? Hey, what am I talking about? He did make an inner and outer armature. Oh my god, that's really cool. I always wonder how how long these robot renders take to sort of sculpt and materialize onto Blender, because there's no way you can fake these details, man. Like maybe the rust, you can fake that using material, using some sort of displacement map. But for these oh my god, wait, like that. For these for the individual metal parts, you can't just that's not something you can fake. Like I talked about faking about trying to fake bumps on my VTuber video, on my recent VTuber video, about faking bumps in Blender. But for realistic renders like this, for realistic renders like this, you cannot fake bump. You cannot fake you can't fake bumps by just adding a texture. This guy had to model every single part in this freaking robot. Like what a mad lad. My god. Although I have to say it's easier to learn. It may be hard to master this. It's hard to master making realistic renders in Blender, but the way to learn making realistic renders in Blender is actually very easy. Just take the Blender donut tutorial, for example. That's a beginner tutorial, and what you get there is a realistic donut. So when it comes to learning about how to make realistic renders, it's very easy because there are already a lot of tutorials in YouTube that teaches you how to make realistic trees, realistic robots, realistic character models. You know, for architecture, I think that's the that's the reason why most people use Blender for. And of course ads. People also use Blender for ads. And there's also the fact that Blender is initially made for realistic renders like this. Like you think of me and you think of my toon shaders and think that's the easiest one to get into, but no, it's back when I was learning about toon shaders, I had to first learn about how to do realistic renders in Blender, because because making realistic renders, that's like the most popular uh, topic for every tutorial I find in YouTube. If you want to learn about toon shaders, you have to go through a bunch of you really have to search for toon shaders in order to get started with it. And I think it's only now that we've sort of popularized the use of Blender to make toon shaders. In fact, I think if I open Blender right now, it will give me a pop-up. It will give me a pop-up of a recent open movie they're making, which is toon shaded, and it's cool that Blender, the developers behind Blender recognizes the toon shaded community in Blender. I just hope that maybe there will be some updates in the future that may be focused on doing more stuff like that, of doing more of optimizing the toon shader workflow in Blender. So yeah, this is cool. Okay, so this is the robot thing. Next up is a little bit of a toon shader, a cartoonist design, but overall it's still it's still using some sort of clay. What's it called? It sort of reminds me of what's it called? Of that recent DreamWorks film about this mermaid. I love the how he I love the style of this character. My god, this is pretty cool. Guess how I animated the hair. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god, I can just hear PC screaming right now. My god. If he used simulation node, if he used the simulation blender to make that hair, his PC would have been fried right now. Unless there's a process there's a procedure that I'm not noticing right now. Would fit right in with Gorilla's music video. Yeah, probably would. It's fantastic, great perk. I hand and rendered in its own separate. What's separate pass? What's that mean? Are you saying that like the can be right? Right? What do you mean separate pass? What's a pass in Blender? What's a pass in Blender? Pass Blender. Passes. Passes can be used to split rendered images into colors, direct and indirect light, to edit them individually, and also to extract. Oh. When you say pass, are you saying like he made two different scenes here? From what I can tell by the wording of this, I think what he did was that he first rendered a scene of the girl skateboarding, but without the hair, and then he made a separate. Then he rendered a separate scene without the model, without the body model and the skateboard and any of this shit. But the only thing he rendered on the second one was maybe just the hair. That's how he did it, really? That's gotta be freaking that's gotta be freaking grueling. Like to sort of estimate where the hair would. Because this doesn't look like it doesn't look like he used any layering in this render right here. There's no way he could have just layered this. Like I said, like how in Photoshop you you would create two different layers to create one image. I can sort of imagine that with a 2D image, but with 3D renders like this, with that zooms in and out. Oh my god, that's really what he did. That I gotta commend your I gotta commend your dedication to sort of mapping out where the hair would land in relation to the head and the and the freaking movement of the character, man. My god. That's right, I use a plugin called BGen Hair Groom. What's BJ Groom? BGen Groom. What's BGen Groom? It added and provides a cleaner and more organized way to groom hair with the new Blender geometry node system. No knowledge of editing. Oh, of course, he he used a third-party add-on. I mean, I don't really fault people who use third-party add-ons. It's just, you know, I'm just so disappointed in myself that I didn't notice that he used maybe a third-party add-on. Anyway, that's cool. A third-party add-on that makes hair simulation much easier in Blender. Add-ons. What's the add-on setup? Is there a photo of this? Oh my god, it's a freaking video. I'll not watch this for now because I don't wanna. Oh, let's see. Well, let's see what's it here. Oh my god, it's a very long video. Oh, that's cool. Region flow and region flow. Oh, that's cool. Hold on. You know, speaking of hair, there's a reason why I don't really use strands that the hair strands that Blender automatically gives me right off the box. Don't know if you ever try to make hair in Blender. There's a really known way of making hair in Blender, which is by going down to a setting in Blender that gives you realistic hair. The one problem I have with the hair that Blender generates is that it sort of looks ugly, in my opinion, compared to animated hair, to the animated hair that I use in most of my toon shaded animations. Like I get the appeal of using hair that's more strand-like, like this one. But if not done correctly, these hair sort of looks ragdoll-like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like those Barbie dolls that have hair on their head. But you know, the more you use it, the more it will just we lose some hair follicles, and what you get is hair follicles. I can't speak right now, and what you get is just, you know, a half-bald Barbie doll. That's sort of the renders the impression I get whenever I try to sculpt make characters in Blender using these types of hair. It's just not the hair I like. It's just I would rather use what I would call the Jan Sculpt's method of creating hair, which is who is this artist on YouTube that taught me and many others on how to make hair using curves, and in my opinion, his way of making hair is much better. It's the style of hair that I also use for my recent animations, like the El Dorado animation I did and the Ben 10 animation. Uh, those are the hair that I like. The ones that that's strand like, but more that have more of a definite shape compared to these very thin lines of hair, and that's why I don't use that. I don't use them. Though you know, you guys can form your own opinion on what's the best kind of hair is. if you're because you know I'm going for a toon shaded style, and toon shaders I don't want to use. With toon shaders I don't use these sorts of hair. I'd rather maybe use this for more realistic renders if I ever get into it. In fact, I think I want to get into doing realistic renders in the near future, because I have this animation idea in my mind that that involves the merging of the merging of toon shading and realistic shading into a animated short using Eevee. So maybe I'll get into hair if I wanted to. But yeah, that's that's my opinion on hair. And what's this? When bones don't behave as expected in game engine. I have no experience with with rigging stuff in a game, in the differences between rigging in a modeling software like Blender and in a game engine like Unity. Though I have to say though, the recent VTuber model I did involved the use of Blender and Unity at the same time, and I didn't have any rigging problems. Though I did have some shader problems. I commented on my recent VTuber video about how I didn't like the hair of the VTuber model I did, because if you look closely, it's sort of there were some lines that I painted black. There were very thin lines painted black on the hair, and I think the reason that happened was because Unity didn't know how to Unity made the UV maps of from my Blender from my Blender model a little bit bigger. That's why there's some black lines there, and those black lines are just like those parts of the image texture that was not painted. Because I wasn't, you know, I didn't really need to paint them because they were outside the boundaries of the UV map created in Blender. For some reason, Unity sort of made it a little bit bigger than it's supposed to be. Hence why there were some black lines in what's it called, in the hair. I'll probably I think my solution. I'll try to find some solution to that. I think maybe. If I export the model as an OBJ, maybe it will produce better results. But for now, it's that's my one prep I had when doing stuff in Unity with assets made in Blender. So, all right. Anyways, how long have we been streaming? 1 hour and 30 minutes? Really? Wow. How many posts have I gotten into? If I go here, how many posts? Give me a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 posts. All right. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Sorry guys for the short live streams. I don't wanna react too much when it comes to these live streams because I I feel like the fun of Blender is sort of learning these stuff on your own. And plus, if I stare into the abyss that is Blender r/Blender for too long, I might lose my confidence as a Blender artist due to how good some of these renders are. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end stream here. Thank you so much for watching. You guys can maybe watch the VOD if you haven't, if you aren't tuned into this one already. I'm going to. I'm just gonna announce to you guys that I'm not gonna be doing some a lot of content like I used to, because I'm sort of switching from one school to another. So I have to adjust to a schedule that's different from the one I had earlier this year. So I'm gonna let's just see what happens in the following ones. If I might be able to still stream as much as I am right now. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Bye bye. Now go read a book.